Hey guys, for those who don't know me, I'm Brenda. I'm one of the coaches on your team, and I wanted to talk about my why. Because here's the thing, we can all lose weight, we can all get more fit, but if you don't have a strong why other than a pant size or a number on the scale, odds are in favor of you not keeping that weight off and not staying fit. I've seen it too many times, guys. It's the people who plug into this group daily that have better success. It's the people who know why they want to get healthier and fit that have the best success. For me, um, the initial reason for me to exercise and eat better, in all honesty, has a lot to do with my mom. I grew up in a home with my mom who was very depressed and she was overweight. And for me, in my head, I made that as a connection. So I felt like I always had to exercise obsessively and be good about what I ate because I felt like if I didn't, I would be depressed like my mom. It wasn't easy. I felt like I was the kind of person who had to do things intentionally to make her feel better, not knowing as a child that anything I did really couldn't make her feel better. She had to make that choice for herself to get better, and sorry to say she never did. But as I grew up and grew older, I realized that she had that choice. She could choose to do things to make herself healthier and more fit, which would have helped her with her depression for sure. I don't ever want to be that person. I don't want to be that person who is miserable when they wake up and get out of bed. I don't ever want to be the person who doesn't want to go out and do things because they don't feel comfortable in their skin. I don't want to be that person like my mother was. So that was my initial reason for working out. The problem with that is that it gave me the struggle of there would be times where just naturally we all have stress in our life that might make us feel a little down. And for me, when that would happen and I would look in the mirror, I would see something that was not reality. I would see myself basically as my mother. And I really only just realized this a few years ago. But when I would look in the mirror, I would see myself as being a heavy person, and I'm not. I have always been at a healthy weight, and that has been a blessing. And it also has contributed to the fact that I've always loved to work out. For me, my biggest struggle is nutrition and making sure I'm giving my body the proper foods it needs to feel good and to be healthy. I don't want to fall in that trap like my mother did. And one thing that contributes to my why that helps me stay on track is my love for my husband and my love for those two sweet boys that I take care of. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for any of them. And I don't want them to be surrounded by me if I am feeling depressed or don't have energy and just is like blah. I don't want to be that person. And I know that I can say I'm very proud of the fact that they know it. They know they are my why. Gavin is 6.5 years old right now, and he's over 50 pounds. And he still likes to snuggle and cuddle, and he still will ask his Mimi, that's what he calls me, to carry him up the steps. And so it just makes me feel good and proud when he says, Mimi, carry me. And I can still pick that boy up and I can still walk him up the steps. And he will say, Mimi is beach body strong. It makes me laugh every single time. But I think of those moments when I want to go get something that's not good for me. I think of those moments when I don't feel like pushing play. Because as much as I love to exercise, I'm just like anybody else. There are going to be times where I'm a little more tired and just don't feel like doing it. Or maybe I want to go do something different. But when I think about him and saying I'm beach body strong, that's a motivation for me to push play and get it done. When I think about my husband and how we both love to go hiking and exploring on our vacations, that's enough for me to push play and make better choices because I don't want to be that wife that wants to sit on the couch all day. That's not me. That's not who I am. I like to get up and do things and have fun. So those are what I use as my why. That's my motivation. And you need to think about yours too. And I want to hear about them. Just talk about it. You know, it might take a while for you to figure out your whole why altogether, and that's okay. But the important thing is to start. Okay, yes, you might want to get into a smaller pant size. You might want to reach a number on the scale, which you really need to throw out and forget about that scale. Because when you make healthier choices, the scale is not the tool to use to see if you're doing the right thing. I promise. Ditch the scale. But then you have to think about this. If you were in that pant size, or if you were at that number, what is it that you expect to feel when you reach that? What are you going to feel like? Is it something about just feeling more comfortable in your skin? Do you want to feel more confident? Do you want to have more energy? Why? What would you do if you had more energy? What would you do if you felt perfectly comfortable in your skin, no matter what the scale said? What would you do? Think about those things and write them down, and then begin to dream about all the things that you would do differently if you were at your healthiest and your most fit life. That is how you find your why.